Previously on AndyManCam.
Okay, sorry not to get you involved in this bit, but I had a few things going on. I've drilled a hole into the middle of the bolt there, into which I've hammered a Torx bit, which I'm now going to try and turn, see how that goes. I'm hoping I can still avoid having to re-tap the thread in this, but I'll be honest, I have limited confidence in this plan. I mean, the worst thing that could happen would be if I were to break the Torx bit off, because that's chrome vanadium steel, which is pretty bloody tough. I have to drill that now, won't I? Shit. This is not the day I wanted. Well, hello ladies and gents, we are back, and pretty much all the money that I saved on my wonderful chain tool, I've just been and spent on drills and taps to try and create a new hole for me to put my chain adjuster bolt into. I have managed to create a new hole. Sadly, it's not in the same place as the original hole was, but that couldn't be helped. It wandered as I drilled it, and it's tight in the corner, so unfortunately it's just going to have to do. It's definitely preferable to a brand new swing arm. So now I just need to try and tap it so I have a thread to screw the bolt back into. Praying to dog, of course, that the tap doesn't break in the hole. If it does, I'm just going to give up. I've squirted the whole area, the healthy dose of WD-40, just to give it some lubrication to help the cutting process. I hate things like this. It's got to be so careful, especially with aluminium, because it binds up on the cutter, and the last thing you want is just to crud it through, because it ends up cutting a much bigger thread than you need, which means your bolt doesn't bite, and there's also the very real risk that you're going to break the cutter off, and there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to drill this if it breaks. I certainly do seem to be able to bring you the drama, don't I? It's supposed to be a quick, easy job. To be honest, I have been putting it off a little bit due to my worry about this tight adjuster bolt. Of course, with tapping anything, it's got to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back at least, just to make sure you don't cock it up. It's just so bloody cock-upable, especially with aluminium, because it's so soft. And as the marathon runner said to the prostitute, periodically you've got to come all the way out just to make sure your end isn't gummed up. For the first time in probably 2 hours now, I'm actually starting to feel a bit positive about this. It might actually work. It's going to look a bit funny because that adjuster bolt's going to be off-centre, but it's not like the axle can go anywhere. Mark the shit out of my swing arm though. It's not good. Motorbikes, eh? Who'd have them? And that is it. Not getting any resistance anymore, so we are fully threaded. So if I can get this bad boy out without breaking it, I think we're good. There we go. A brand new tapped chain adjuster hole. Now let's hope it does its job. Try it out with my new stainless bolt. Splendid. I think that's going to work just fine. Right, well now disaster has been narrowly averted. Let's clean this up and get back on track. Right then, well in order to get the chain on, I'm going to need to get at the front sprocket, so this little cover here needs to come off. Oh, bloody hell, Jeff Capes has been at my bike again. That should just pull out, there we go. And there we see my front sprocket in, as far as I can see, even better condition than the back sprocket was. So I'm avoiding any headaches with trying to undo this just by leaving it as it is. There's a good few thousand miles left in that yet. Just give it a wipe down, shall we? There's so much sludge and shit has built up in here from the old chain loop. Hopefully we're not going to get as much of that with this dry stuff I've got. It's disgusting. Bits of O-ring and all sorts of shit in there as well. That's the trick. There you go. Don't want to be getting that black sludgy shit on my nice new shiny gold chain. Right. Let's get the back wheel back on. Give the axle a quick wipe. Make sure there's no grit or rough stuff on it. Give these spacers a quick spring clean as well. So, is our wheel ready to go back in? Just a squirt of grease around the dust seals. Put them on the spacers as well. We have two different sized spacers. The big one goes on the sprocket side. The small one goes on the brake disc side. You can't get it wrong because the big one doesn't fit in the small hole. Simple really. So then all we need to do is just guide the brake disc in between the pads like that. Make sure your spacers don't fall out. Too many times I've put my wheels in and then realised the spacers aren't where they used to be. Had to do it all bloody again. Now we need our spacers. I've got one side that's got nothing on it, just skank. And the other side's actually got a line on it, and that's the side that needs to go on the outside because you use that for your chain alignment. One on this side, one on this side. Now what you must not do, which I've just done, is forget to put your chain tensioner bolts back in place. That would have been quite annoying. That would have been more annoying than not putting the spacers in, I think. One for that side. I'll screw them right in for now. Adjust them back out later on once we've got the chain on. Splendid, that will do nicely. Same on the other side. Brand new, slightly off-centre hole. Less than ideal, but it will do the job. Once again, screw that right in. I hate chain adjusters, I really do. Even more than ever after today. I will do anything in my power to make my next bike a shaft drive, just to get away from all of this nonsense. I know shaft drives have their problems, but it's got to be nothing compared to this bullshit. I need to do this over and over again. I've had to change the chain and sprockets at least once on every motorbike I've ever owned. I haven't heard of anybody changing the shaft on a shaft drive bike. Right, a bit more of that, a bit more of that, more of that. And for you too. And block on that side, block on that side. And we'll try again. Remember, line needs to be on the outside. And once again, this is a point at which a beautiful assistant would be quite splendid. Even if it's just for something nice to look at. But make sure you can see your brake caliper hole lined up there. Stick that in there. And now we need to lift the wheel up to that level so we can push the axle through it, which is easier said than done. Oh, see? This is where you need superhuman strength for 3 hands. Right, that's the spacer falling out. It's a good start. Popped out of the caliper now. Bloody hell. Oh, I've lost the spacer on the other side now. Bloody hell. Try again, shall we, folks? Oh, it's always the way, isn't it? I've got it up there, but then the bloody axle was in the way. I hate you, Kawasaki. Need to lift the wheel up while holding those in and then push that across. If only I had opposable thumbs on my penis, I could probably do this. Hang on, lads. I've had an idea. The wheel is too low. Disc between the calipers, and then pull this handy drill box over. Oh, that's looking good. Can I get the axle in without dropping it? Oh, she's in. Yes. Right, mid one end. To start. Oh, you beauty. I think we're through. We are through. That was a lot more faff than it needed to be. Bit of grease upon my washer. And then loosely stick the nut on so I don't accidentally kick that out. End up back at square bloody one. Right, now we're getting there. Take this tape away, don't need that anymore. Clearly nothing wrong with those bearings, is there?